They doubled gravity as a joke. Human trainee barely noticed the shift. Lieutenant Kara Jensen tightened the straps on her boots as she stepped into the Intergalactic Defense Academy's training chamber. The air shimmered faintly under the artificial gravity field, and a low hum vibrated through the reinforced floor. "Welcome, trainee," said SIV, the hovering AI instructor, its voice calm and precise. "Today's simulation will test your reflexes, endurance, and adaptation under extreme environmental stress. Proceed to the training grid." Kara, a human trainee and one of the youngest in the academy, nodded. She had fought tooth and nail for her slot. She didn't realize she was about to astonish the galaxy. The setup. Across the chamber, alien trainees were already struggling. The Zalari, six-limbed insectoids, grunted as their combat rifles felt suddenly heavier. The Trellin, gelatinous and slow-moving, quivered. The Vorik, hulking reptilians, stomped impatiently, claws scraping the floor. Kara noticed a subtle heaviness as she stepped forward, but nothing alarming. She adjusted her stance, flexed her shoulders, and continued. Unbeknownst to her, the instructors had secretly doubled the chamber's gravity. The prank was meant to expose the weakest cadets. For most aliens, it was a catastrophe. For Kara, it was barely noticeable. The shift. The moment she fully entered the grid, the aliens reacted. The Zalari struggled to lift rifles that were normally light. "Impossible," one shrieked. Trellin blobs collapsed onto the floor, forming sticky puddles. The Vorik bellowed, muscles trembling. "My legs. I can't move. This is unacceptable." Kara took a careful step forward. The floor felt heavier beneath her boots, her jump slightly lower, but she barely noticed. This is okay," she muttered. She leaped onto a low obstacle and climbed it with effort that seemed minimal compared to the chaos around her. Alien panic. SIV's voice cut through the chamber. "Alert. Gravity doubled. Maintain composure." Composure was optional. Zalari limbs flailed as rifles fell. Trellin trainees stuck to walls and consoles. Vorik stomped, shaking monitors from their mounts. Kara sidestepped a falling rifle, caught it, and tossed it to a panicked Zalari. "Careful," she said cheerfully. SIV paused. Observation. Human trainee shows minimal adaptation difficulty. Across the room, jaws dropped. Humans were presumed fragile compared to the other species. Kara's calm defiance of physics shattered that assumption. Observation. By the third minute of doubled gravity, the instructors were frantically reviewing Kara's biometrics. Heart rate, elevated but stable. Muscle strain, normal. Stress hormones, only slightly higher than baseline. The Vorik instructor hissed. How is she stable?" SIV responded, "Unknown. Preliminary analysis indicates humans possess unusually adaptable musculoskeletal and cardiovascular systems. She compensates subconsciously for increased gravitational force." Kara, oblivious to the panic she had caused, casually climbed an obstacle wall that other cadets were sliding down. "Gravity feels heavier," she said, brushing dust off her uniform, "but not bad." The instructors were horrified. Escalation. Instructors, suspecting a fluke, increased gravity further. 2.5 g 3g. Aliens collapsed. Zalari legs buckled. Trellin masses sagged. Vorik muscles trembled violently. Kara adjusted her posture, slightly slower steps, minor strain in her shoulders and calves. She lifted a 50-kilogram training crate and handed it to a struggling Vorik trainee. "You guys need a hand?" she asked, smiling. Vorik blinked. "How is this possible?" SIV's voice, usually neutral, wavered with something like awe. "Alert. Human muscular and skeletal adaptation exceeds expectations under extreme G-forces." The joke revealed. After 5 minutes, instructors revealed the truth. It had been a prank, a stress test designed to weed out the weakest cadets. Gravity normalization in progress, SIV announced. The shift was intentional. Observation: humans tolerate extreme changes with minimal discomfort. The aliens collectively groaned. Kara wiped her brow and shrugged. It was heavy, a little, but manageable. Feels like carrying a backpack. The instructors stared. The galaxy's most disciplined trainers, who had spent decades developing extreme simulations, were facing a human who treated doubled gravity like a walk in the park. Consequences. The aftermath was immediate. Training simulations were revised to include humans as the new standard for extreme condition endurance. Gravity-adjusted obstacle courses, high-G maneuvers, zero-G combat, all now benchmarked against human adaptability. SIV's analysis concluded that human physiology was exceptionally adaptable. Brain, muscles, cardiovascular system, and reflexes worked in harmony to compensate for extreme environmental changes. Vorik instructors whispered darkly about the tiny bipeds that survive where we collapse. Zalari scholars debated publishing a paper. Trellan instructors, well, they were still half-puddle. Trainee's perspective. Kara, completely unaware of the chaos she had caused, polished her boots in the mess hall while aliens recounted their struggles. Vorik trainee slammed his fists on the table. I cannot believe you survived that. Kara shrugged. Gravity's just a number. You move slower? Sure. But you adapt. The Zalari muttered, it's unnatural. How can a species evolve so quickly? I don't think of it as evolution, Kara said. I just try. You get used to it. Legacy. By the end of the week, Kara's reputation was solidified, the human who barely noticed doubled gravity. Simulations intended to challenge aliens became experiments on humans. Every trainee who assumed humans were fragile reconsidered their assumptions. SIV's official report summarized. Subject: Kara Jensen. Remarkable adaptation. Minimal physiological stress under extreme G-forces. Recommendation: re-evaluate all training parameters for humans. Instructors stopped making gravity jokes around her. At least openly. Epilogue. Kara never sought glory. She adapted, kept moving, and laughed at challenges. Meanwhile, the galaxy learned a crucial lesson: humans were not fragile. They were adaptable, stubborn, and capable of handling extremes with a casual smile. And when instructors wanted to test limits, they always kept one eye on Kara just in case.